The Hausa are an ancient culture that had an extensive coverage area and long ties to the Arabs. The Hausa have been Muslim since the 14th century and have converted many other Nigerian tribes to the Muslim faith by contact, trade, and jihads. Origin myths among the Hausa claim that their founder, Bejira, came from the east, Baghdad, in an effort to escape his father, who was the king of Baghdad. He eventually came to Gaya, where he employed some blacksmiths to fashion a knife for him. With his knife, he proceeded through Borno to Daura, where he freed the people from the oppressive nature of a sacred snake who guarded their well and prevented them from getting water 6 days out of the week. The queen of Daura gave herself into marriage to Bejira to show her appreciation. The two gave birth to 7 healthy sons, each of whom ruled the 7 city-states that make up Hausa land. Although in other forms of the myth, the story is told as the son of Bejira, named Bao, had 6 sons of his own who ruled 6 of the states, and Bejira's first son, by his first wife, Magira, a Kanuri woman, founded the 7th state. The rise of the Hausa states occurred between 500 and 700 AD, but it was not until 1200 that they really began to control the region, which is around the same time when Islam was introduced to the Hausa. The Hausa states benefit from their location due to their geography. Since the beginning of Hausa history, due to the diverse geography of their location of the 7 states of Hausa land, they divided production and labor activities in accordance with their location and natural resources. Kano and Rana were known as the chiefs of indigo. Cotton grew readily in the Great Plains of these states, and they became the primary producers of cloth, weaving, and dyeing it before sending it off into the caravans to other states within Hausa land and to extensive regions far beyond. Beram was the original seat of government, while Zaria supplied labor and was known as the chief of slaves. Katsina and Daura were the chiefs of the market, as their geographical location accorded them direct access to the caravans coming across the deserts from the north. Gobir, located in the west, was the chief of war and was mainly responsible for protecting the empire from invasive kingdoms of Ghana and Songhai. According to Arab oral tradition, Islam first came to Africa with Muslim refugees fleeing persecution in the Arab Peninsula. This was followed by a military invasion. Some 7 years after the death of the Prophet Muhammad in 639, under the command of Muslim Arab general Amr ibn al-Asi, it quickly spread west from Alexandria in North Africa. Islam arrived in Hausa land along the caravan routes. The famous Kano Chronicle records the conversion of Kano's ruling dynasties by clerics from Mali, demonstrating that the imperial influence of Mali extended far to the east. Acceptance of Islam was gradual and was often nominal in the countryside, where folk religion continued to exert a strong influence. Nonetheless, Kano and Katsina, with their famous mosques and schools, came to participate fully in the cultural and intellectual life of the Islamic world. There was an Islamic presence in Hausa land as early as the 11th century. According to tradition, Islam was brought to Hausa territory by Muhammad al-Makili, an Islamic cleric, teacher, and missionary who came from Borno towards the end of the 15th century. Early Islamization proceeded peacefully, mainly at the hands of prophets, pilgrims, and merchants. In the early days, the number of individuals who accepted Islam was small, and among those who did, it was usually practiced along with traditional Hausa religious beliefs. In many cases, the ruling elite were the first to convert to Islam. It was not until the early 1800s that the Fulani began to pressure on the Hausa to undergo a large-scale conversion. Through a series of holy wars known as jihads, The northern part of what is now today Nigeria was unified in the name of Islam under the auspices of the Fulani Empire. Fulani Jihad, led by Usman Dan Fodido, finally united the region and ended the individual influences of each of the Hausa states.